The Salvation Pentad, designated by the acronym BBCFR, represents the accumulative and comprehensive response that covers all elements of salvation teaching across the three historical phases of the New Testament. The 5 one-time actions, baptism, belief, confession, faith, and repentance, performed with sincere and heartfelt intention, secure immediate conscious presence with Christ in heaven upon death. This framework intentionally incorporates every requirement articulated in the pre-crucifixion phase, the post-resurrection phase, and the Pauline phase. Its purpose is to provide full coverage rather than reliance on any single phase alone. While partial responses corresponding to one phase remain possible, the complete Pentad ensures that all aspects of the New Testament's phased salvation requirements are addressed. Renunciation refers to the deliberate rejection, refutation, or reversal of any or all elements of the Salvation Pentad after they have been genuinely completed. Within this framework, such renunciation carries significant consequences. Because the Pentad functions as a unified accumulative response designed to cover every phase, the deliberate rejection of one or more of its actions effectively undermines the comprehensive coverage that the full Pentad provides. The original performance, once completed with sincere intention, secures the guarantee of heaven. However, subsequent renunciation can cancel the benefits of that performance by reducing the response to a partial or incomplete set. This leaves gaps in the full salvation requirements that the accumulative framework seeks to fulfill. The framework therefore includes an explicit caveat regarding renunciation. While the 5 actions are one-time in character and sufficient when performed with genuine intention, the participant should refrain from renouncing any element of the Pentad in order to maintain the integrity and full coverage of the response across all phases. This does not impose a requirement of perfect ongoing obedience or flawless follow. It addresses the specific act of deliberate reversal or rejection of the core actions themselves. The framework presents this as a practical safeguard that preserves the comprehensive assurance the Salvation Pentad is designed to deliver. The possibility of restoration after renunciation. The accumulative nature of the Salvation Pentad framework allows for restoration following renunciation. If a person renounces one or more elements of the BBCFR, or even the entire Pentad, the guarantee of heaven can be restored by once again performing the renounced element or elements, or by reperforming the full Salvation Pentad, with fresh, sincere, and heartfelt intention. The one-time character of the actions applies each time they are genuinely completed. This possibility of renewal reflects the grace-centered logic of the framework. It maintains that the response remains accessible at any point before death, and that the accumulative synthesis permits renewed fulfillment of the requirements. Restoration does not demand a return to the exact circumstances or emotional state of the original performance. It requires only a renewed sincere intention in the heart. The framework therefore balances the seriousness of renunciation with the ongoing availability of the saving response. This structure respects human freedom while upholding the sufficiency of the Pentad when it is actively maintained in its complete form. Maintaining comprehensive coverage across all phases. The central purpose of the Salvation Pentad is to cover every salvation element taught across the 3 phases rather than limiting the response to any single phase. Current expressions of Christianity often emphasize the Pauline phase, with its focus on belief in the heart, confession with the mouth, and faith as reliance on grace. While such a partial response may align with one phase, the BBCFR framework seeks to provide the fullest possible coverage by incorporating all actions from the entire New Testament progression. Performing the complete Pentad ensures that the pre-crucifixion emphasis on repentance and belief, the post-resurrection edition of baptism, and the Pauline contributions are all addressed. For this reason, the framework encourages participants to complete the full Salvation Pentad and then refrain from renouncing any of its elements. This preserves the comprehensive nature of the response and maintains the full salvation requirements across all phases. Renunciation of any part would effectively narrow the response back to a phase-specific or partial set, undermining the accumulative intention of the Pentad. The framework therefore presents the complete Pentad as the strongest and most thorough approach to the New Testament salvation teaching. Practical implications and the pragmatic invitation. The framework offers a clear pragmatic invitation in light of the reality of renunciation. For those outside the Christian tradition, the Salvation Pentad represents a defined and accessible deal. The 5 actions can be completed with sincere intention even while questions or doubts remain. However, once the Pentad is performed, it is prudent not to renounce any element, as such renunciation would remove the benefits already secured. Reversal remains possible through renewed performance, but the simplest and most secure path is to complete the full Pentad and maintain it without deliberate rejection. For those already within Christianity, the Salvation Pentad provides exact clarity regarding the requirements for heaven. It cuts through varied denominational emphases and offers the comprehensive coverage that addresses all phases. The framework allows each believer to live out follow according to personal conviction while urging the preservation of the complete Pentad to maintain full assurance. This structure delivers both the certainty of salvation and the freedom of personal discipleship, while recognizing the serious consequences of renunciation and the possibility of restoration. Conclusion: Renunciation and restoration in the Salvation Pentad framework explained. The Salvation Pentad framework presents a coherent account of Christian salvation that emphasizes the sufficiency of the 5 one-time actions while addressing the reality of human freedom and renunciation. The complete Pentad covers every element across all 3 phases and secures heaven when performed with sincere intention. Deliberate renunciation of any element can cancel the benefits of the original response by undermining the comprehensive coverage the framework provides. Restoration remains available through renewed sincere performance of the renounced actions or the full Pentad. This framework therefore combines assurance with responsibility. It encourages the completion of the full Salvation Pentad as the strongest response to the New Testament's phased teaching. It advises against renunciation in order to preserve that comprehensive coverage. And it offers the ongoing possibility of renewal for those who turn back. In this way, the Salvation Pentad Plus maintains both the certainty of heaven through the Pentad and the freedom of personal engagement with follow, while providing a clear and practical path that respects the full scope of the biblical material.